amid the political noise surrounding Sarkozy's case, you may have missed the fact that it actually involved individual victims, people who lost family members in a 1989 terrorist attack ordered by the Libyan regime. Among the favors offered to Gaddafi by Sarkozy was the rehabilitation of his image and working to lift an arrest warrant against his brother-in-law, Abdullah Senussi, who was among 6 Libyans convicted in absentia of organizing that attack. 170 people were killed when UTA Flight 772 exploded in the desert over Niger, leaving no survivors. Among them were 54 French citizens, including a flight attendant named Muammar Brette. Her daughter, Yohanna, was just a baby at the time, and she joins us now to discuss the case. Yohanna, we are sorry for your loss, and we really appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you, Alison, for inviting me. Thank you.
I want to start by asking you about Sarkozy being put in prison. How does it feel knowing that he is currently behind bars?
We are not happy. I mean, this is really terrible for France. This is terrible for our republic. But it also means that our democracy is working. And that is, no one is above the law. So that the separation of power makes sense. And that's what is really important today.
And we just saw that report about him being protected by personal bodyguards, sort of an exceptional, situation for the French president. A lot of people don't agree with that he's being treated differently. Do you have any feelings about it?
To be honest, I believe that should not be the main focus of the debate. We understand that he has special circumstances, and we are not really in position to judge what it may need for his safety. But the world is watching him. The world is watching us. They will have to take responsibility again, whether it be the official support of our Minister of Justice, Gérald Darmanin, and his visit to our current president, Emmanuel Macron, the day before his incarceration, of the privilege associated. Let's see what is going to happen, because it's written into history now.
Let's talk about your own personal involvement in the trial. You were one of the plaintiffs. Can you explain more about that?
Like you said, in the bombing in the UTA772, it was a French plane that exploded in the desert of Tenerife, killing 170 people. And this attack was organized by Libyan under the Gaddafi regime, and the person primarily responsible for this attack is Abdullah Senussi. It was Gaddafi's brother-in-law and one of the key figures in the Libyan financing affair. So why it was a key figure? Because in order to finance his presidential campaign, Nicolas Sarkozy, who was minister at the moment, entered into a corrupt life. In exchange for money, he made some promises, and one of them was to review the criminal case against Abdullah Senussi. That's why we are here. That's why we are plaintiff, because we think we have prejudice, and actually the court recognizes it.
Yeah, I believe you were awarded a small sum of money at recognizing your status as victims. What was it like testifying in court? Can you tell us a bit about what you said?
It was a long way to make us testify. It was really important for us. It was one of the most important things for us. It was to be heard by the court and by them, to tell them how it's difficult for us to understand that our government and our president makes that things. So we did it. To be honest, we feel better after, and we finished the day of testifying by smile, because we do understand it's going to change the things.
Did you feel like Sarkozy heard you? Were you able to look him in the eye?
Yes, he heard you. He tried to answer you. So yes, he heard, but he didn't change his way to defend himself. He didn't excuse himself. He didn't have a word for us to explain what was really happened. So he heard, but I'm not sure he understand.
Can you talk just a bit about what you said in your testimony? I mean, what has it meant to you, having lost your mother in this attack, to have then seen, the Libyan dictator and his relationship with Sarkozy, just years after that?
I tried to explain what was life after that, because, like you say, I was 1 year and a half, so very, really young. I have to to fix some stuff in my family. So I try to tell them how complicated it was. I try to let him know how it was uncomfortable for me because I don't know how to translate it, but I was pupille de la nation. That means I was adopted by France. I was adopted by our government. So when you receive Gaddafi, and when I do understand there is some stuff between the Libyan regime and France, for me it was first crazy. And I try to tell him, I feel abandoned again. I feel like lost in my own country. So it was my testifying.
Sarkozy continues to claim his innocence. His lawyers have called this a conviction without evidence. He was acquitted of the corruption charges. How do you respond to those arguments?
He has a right to defend himself. I mean, he has a right and he has a strategy. So they know the entire case, like everyone who had read it. But they choose denial. They choose to lie. So let's see what's going to happen next because we will be there.
And I know you were saying this condemnation of Sarkozy is a victory for France, but there have been death threats against the judge in this case, as well as journalists. And I know that's something that concerns you. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
To be honest, I think it was what angered me most about the trial. I'm not sure people really understand what happens because a free press and justice are the most important checks and balance in our country. And the statement of Nicolas Sarkozy and his friends and his colleagues and his family after the verdict were very, very dangerous and probably caused some trouble. You know, like today, the streets, again, magistrates and journalists are unacceptable. We can't accept that. And I believe it is our duty as the biggest controlling power, the people, us to defend them, to protect, they protect us. So we need to defend them.
How do you feel about how the case was treated by the media in France? Do you feel like victims like you were talked about enough?
It was terrible for us because we were there every day. We know who was there to and who can talk really about the judgment. We felt abandoned and forgotten. We were like at the trial every day. We know that some of the journalists they were familiar with the case. With those we have on our program are political journalists and not legal journalists. So they don't know the case really. They don't know the case. It was unbelievable and very upsetting. We feel that the things are changing now, like from few days now, and we are now finally talking about the substance. And substance, unfortunately, it's us too. So we talk about the substance, not longer about the form. And to be honest, I thank you for that.
And I know this is not the end of your fight for justice. What's next for you and for the other victims of this attack?
We say we will not give up. We want to know the truth and see the justice through the end. So we will be there for happening, for sure. Um, we are also plaintiff in another case involving Nicolas Sarkozy called Takedin false pretext, which concerns the attempt to try to bribe a key witness in the Libyan affair, who was Ziad Takedin, who died before the trial. So we believe there will be a trial too. We are waiting for that. We are also plaintiff in and I told you already we will be an appel next year. And to let you know too, the investigation of Mediapart, which I repeat is really rigorous and made the job like unbelievable, and so allow us to move forward our own story with the DCD's Bombay case, and particularly true because in few months the bomb makers of Lockerbie terrorist attacks will be judged in US and apparently the same bomb maker of us. So we hope things gonna happen and we'll see what is gonna be. So it means we are not done with the justice system, but it also means that even it's take time. We know that we already know that, but it's cool. I mean, the world is changing and moving toward the truth, and I understand. To be honest, for me, I really true. In these crazy times we are living, this is the good news.
I, Well, we will, of course, continue to follow your case. Yohanna Brette, thank you again so much for joining us today. That was Yohanna Brette, a plaintiff in the case against former President Nicolas Sarkozy. Her mother was one of the 170 victims of UTA Flight 772, an attack ordered by the Libyan regime of Muammar Gaddafi.